Hey, Richard, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, we are live. Boy, that 5 minute countdown is just, it seems like an eternity, doesn't it?
It does. It's like watching grass grow, but got to do it. Got
So,
to get everybody to, come in, get their coffee, and
yep, settle
enjoy the show.
in and get ready to watch the show. So, good morning and welcome everybody to the Innovators Insider live stream. We're talking about the latest Onshape release today, 1.155. And Michael, there's some pretty exciting stuff in there, isn't there?
Totally. Yeah. We got some really fun news. We are happy to announce that the Onshape Simulation, release that was released in the last update 3 weeks ago. We released it for the Onshape Enterprise community first, and everything went well. So we were like, okay, let's just push it for the rest of the professional team that is entitled to it, and they have it now.
Yep.
So any Onshape Professional subscriber now has simulation toolbar buttons, in any new document that they create, or if it's already been upgraded, it takes a couple days for all the documents to do their thing and upgrade. So we're really excited that simulation is here for the professional community.
Yep. And people are really excited about that, and that's pretty evident by the attendance at the webinar, this simulation webinar that was done by Greg Brown. In fact, It was so popular that they're running it again today at 1 p.m. Eastern time here in the U.S. There's the URL there, or you can go to onshape.com, just do a search on simulation, and you'll find that webinar. Highly recommended, some good information, and of course, Greg Brown is one of the top experts in just about everything. So
yeah, we just had him on the last Innovators Insider.
That's right.
And he gave us a little bit of a peek behind the curtain behind, what simulation's all about. There's a couple of really good comments about simulation I've seen over the last few weeks. Some people kind of describing it as almost magical, next level. We all say these things, in the world of CAD and marketing and things like that. But it's really nice to see, real people telling us that, because exactly. The way the product is constructed, it's solving a real problem. It's not just like, oh yeah, we also have a integrated FEA tool in our CAD system. That's not what this is. This is like,
this is
fully baked.
This is not just that, well, will this bracket bend or break? This is something special and something different. Working in the assembly environment, fairly unique. So
Michael, welcome to the show. Does simulation have any dynamics or vibration currently? And the answer is no, not now. It's linear static stress analysis. That's what Onshape Simulation does today. The technology that drives this product can handle those things, though, Michael. So, we totally plan on adding those kinds of things, where to extend it. But most people are running linear static analysis. So that's where we started, of course, and it works really well. So,
yep. And welcome to the show, Michael. And also, Sebastian's here with us again.
Hi, Sebastian.
Yep. There we go. Sebastian is a regular at the German-speaking user group meetings, which I attend every single one of them. I don't understand what they're talking about, but I can see the excitement, and I can see the just the look on people's faces and the way that they talk about, I can tell they're talking about Onshape, obviously. But you can see it's a great group of folks. And for those German-speaking folks out there, if you're interested, they have a meeting once a month, and always some good technical content. So join them if you can.
External threads, just a little bit of stealing some thunder there. But yeah, external threads, definitely one of my personal favorites in this release. I was spoiled. I already had simulation, so it doesn't count for me. But so for my favorite, I think it's got to be the external threads and the way we implemented it. It's something that we needed to have. It's in the software now, and in the best Onshape way possible. They made it very Onshapey. So I'll give you an idea of how that works.
Yep.
Nick's
Nick
here.
has joined us. Yep. Good morning to you too, Nick. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Might as well get right into it, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right?
Let's take a look.
Yeah. Share the screen here, and you can see, there's a lot of this release, I don't know, there was so much in the last release. It's hard to follow up another release, with it. But I think that, we did a fairly decent job here.
Well, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, there aren't as many updates as there were in some of the previous, but every single one of these is a great one. I love them all.
Yeah, some of these are like, you just have to have this if
Yeah.
you're in that line of work. So I'm so happy that we've done some of these things. So let's go over here. So as I mentioned, simulation, it's available for anybody on Onshape Professional and Onshape Enterprise now. So that is the improvement. Just in case you haven't seen Onshape Simulation, here I am inside of an Onshape assembly. This Onshape assembly has configurations. This Onshape assembly has exploded views. It has a variable studio, right? And guess what? Onshape Simulation is just another thing that interacts all together with this this environment, right? So, I'm not going to do the full demo here, but it doesn't take long to demonstrate what Onshape Simulation does, right? I have the rounded corner version of this. We have results coming in, because it's running a live simulation in the background, using AWS resources, not melting your own personal computer. And you already have results, after several iterations. It's here on the screen as another view mode. It's just, just works.
And because it's Onshape, you could move over to another tab and do something else while the simulation is running. Of course, you'd have to be really, really fast to get something else done. But by the time that simulation finishes. But
yeah.
Hey, Eduardo, welcome to the show. Good to see you again today. I think we've got. I think I've got one of Eduardo's comments in here on the new release. Let me see if I can find that. I think it was pretty simple and to the point.
But yeah, it's always nice to have you on, Eduardo, and thanks for everything you do.
There it is. There's Eduardo's great comment this morning in the forums, and you're right. Great update, Eduardo.
Hey, Too Tall Toby's here. How you doing, Toby?
Hey, Toby. Good to see you again.
Yeah, that was a fast solve, and it was fast because we're cheating. We're running on AWS GPUs. But everybody gets that when they're an Onshape customer, so Onshape Professional and Enterprise at least. So, it's nice to see you here, Toby, and
there's
Tony
B.
Tony B.
Whoa,
any news of non-isotropic Oh, I knew that question was going to come. Damn it. We don't do non-isotropic composite materials yet. This is linear static analysis. It's just, basic stuff, for machine design, components, you need to check your stresses on metal parts. So this is where we started. Of course, there'll be more coming. Let's see, thread feature. And by the way, we do have other partners in the world of simulation too. Just so you know, I mean, if you go to the App Store, there's OnScale, right? There's SimScale. Those tools have extended toolkits as well and accept native Onshape data. So those are also good places to go for some more of the different types of analysis modes that you might want to run as well. But this tool is meant to be here. It's not really competing against those tools. It's here as an always-on, like while you're designing, kind of a design advisor guidance type thing, and that's really the way to think about this. Oh, hey, good. This is a late breaking information from Eduardo. Just got back from Develop 3D Live in the UK in Sheffield. We had John Hirschdick was there. I believe
Matt Whelan from Ocado.
Matt Whelan from Ocado. He's spoken very nicely about Onshape and things, and he's a good friend of the team here. So it was nice to see him giving a talk. And thank you for sharing the news in Spanish as well, Eduardo. Thank you.
I got to attend Develop 3D one year at the University of Warwick in the UK there. Yep.
I went there once too to the Warwick campus. It was it was a lot of fun. So
great bunch of guys up there.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. So what else do we have besides simulation, Michael? There has to be more.
There is a lot more in Hello Waza. All right, let's hop into the next thing that I'm going to bring up is the external thread options. So, much requested, of course, but let's show you how this works. Let's do this live because I haven't gone ahead and actually used it personally yet. So I'm going to come up with a new design here, and we're going to call it the shaft system, for lack of a better name at this time of the morning.
Sounds good to me.
And in my first part studio, what I will do is just start constructing a shaft of some sort, right? So, there might be gears, there might be other things, bearings, but I'm going to say I want a 25 millimeter diameter here. I guess I'm in metric today. We're going to go 100 millimeters over here. And then I'm just going to create another piece of the shaft right here. Something like that. We'll call that 50. That at 200. All right. And I'll just turn off my planes here. All right, so I want, there needs to be some kind of like threaded rod, on this piece of the shaft, right? So obviously, we could have split faces. There's all sorts of different things that could have been done here, but the external thread feature, I just typed it in because I didn't know where it was, but there it is. It's highlighting it for me. External thread, pick your cylinder edge right there, and you pick your standard. I was on ANSI, but let me pick ISO, right? And I'll just down here, go to M25, right? Because it was a 25 millimeter edge, right? And we'll pick the thread pitch. We'll do 1.5 millimeters or 2 or whatever you want. And then you can tell it, how far you want that thread. So you see, it's giving me a preview of the thread length right now, blind thread length of 10 millimeters. But if I knew I wanted it to be 25 millimeters long, I could do that. It's letting me split the face or not. If you want to show this area happens to be threaded, that might be a nice thing to have, just to split the face. But for whatever reason, you can turn that off. But you also have the ability to, this is where we did a little better, I think, compared to some other systems. So here you can, add the undercut, add the chamfer all at the same time, right? So I'm going to add a quick chamfer to the end, right? And an undercut here. So now we have the external thread. I'm going to just set this as a material here. We'll set this as 03. And we'll set the name of the part. I don't go to C:\file save as, and in Onshape, we just go to, name the part here. We'll call this threaded rod. And the reason I'm doing that is because I need to make a drawing, stick it on a piece of paper. And of course, you want to see that thread callout information. So let's just go ahead and do that. It's kind of let's just show this as a shaded view. There we are. And I'll set my sheet reference here to something a little more realistic, 1 or 2 or something like that. And look, everything's already set here. Like when I imported this, or when I created the drawing, it automatically added the threaded dashed lines there. I didn't have to do anything special to get that to show up, right? It just showed up. Of course, if I showed hidden lines in this view, I can see, the hidden lines of the shaft or the thread as well. Over here, we have even in the 3D view in here, we have, the dashed lines as well. So you can see, that this is a threaded rod, like so. And then, of course, we're going to be able to call out a hole call out. Now, instead of creating a separate button to create a hole call out or a thread call out, for an external thread, we're using the existing hole call out tool, right?
Beautiful.
So just go there, and there it is, M25 by 2 right there. And of course, I could stick the other kind of dimensional information in here as well. This one, I would probably do this as a nice blown up view like that or something like that,
And that answers, boy,
Are there questions relating to this?
Well, yeah, we'll just say Hoka asked the question about how does calling out external threads on the drawings function, and you just showed him.
Well, it's all part of the part of the thing. Can't make this part without a drawing
That's right.
most cases, right? So, and just going ahead and throwing some detail stuff in here as well. So just so you
And
can see
there's
that
a
whole
question
process.
from Achol. Can we add threads? I'm gonna guess he means cone shape with this feature.
Conical threads? Oh, interesting. Let's see. I mean, conical threads would be for pipe threads and things like that, right?
Yep.
So I see ANSI and ISO in here, but I don't see the pipe standard. So I
Yeah.
would say no at the moment. But that's a good idea. And if we need pipe threads, please go ahead and hit contact support, add that as a request. So that way your name is associated with the improvement request, and you'll be notified, and we're notified that this is an important thing. So,
Yep.
So yeah, that's external threads, works on parts and drawings. So
yep. Very well done. Very
well done.
Yep.
So I'm really happy about how that turned out. All right, what's next? This one for our surface modeling friends. We'll really enjoy some of the improvements that have been happening. Over the last 6 months, you've seen almost every update have some sort of surfacing improvements because our customers are just demanding that. Our customers are on the edge or on the forefront of new product design, right? All of our customers they're not old school companies typically. They're typically modern, innovative companies coming up with new innovative products. And part of coming up with new innovative products is having advanced surfacing, making the product look stylish, sexy, attractive, etc. Right? So the only way to do that is to have extremely good surfacing, accurate surfacing that can be manufactured, things like that. So,
and frankly, it's easier to use, than it has been in the past. One of the things is I've always had trouble with surfacing. I think part of that is due to my right brain nature. I like right angles and I like big chunks of steel, that kind of thing. So that's part of it. But the other part of it too is, surfacing in CAD, it used to be a skill that was mastered by a few people. And as the tools get easier and easier to use, and there are more of them available to do things in surfacing, it becomes a lot easier for folks like me that just don't have that kind of experience and background.
Yeah, anything we can do to make it faster, I'm faster, easier. As long as it creates it quickly or accurately. I think I'm a fan of it. So here's a quick example of where this new function can come in handy. So the new function, or I shouldn't say function because it was like an addition to multiple features, this particular item in the fill command and then the loft command, because you can use fill and loft almost interchangeably to a certain degree.
Sure.
Like you could literally create this filled in shape with a loft if you wanted to, or with a fill. It just depends which kind of way you're thinking about it, right? Yep. So here I actually have individual edge control. And, we've always had individual edge control in loft and fill where you could select tangency or curvature continuity, right? C2 or C1 or C2 continuity, right? So, but now you can also use helper faces, adjacent faces. So if you look here on this very simple bike frame, you can see we want to fill in this area to have a very nice blend, right? And of course, it's setting it at C0 by default. We're going to set it tangency right here. And we're also using helper faces to help the tangency along, right? So now that gives it a lot more guidance to get the actual geometry to blend in correctly. So very easy thing we did just to make the existing features work much better.
Very nice.
Yeah. For anybody doing any kind of custom frame design, Onshape introduced frames, quite some time ago now, and you can have any kind of custom frame profile you want. Let's say you had like something really strange or esoteric, or actually, it isn't really that strange. I mean, if you look, I've talked to companies that do window manufacturing and things like that, where a lot of it is aluminum extrusion, right? When you create frames of these windows, and they have very complex profiles.
Yeah,
in the frame tool,
the one we're looking at is pretty complex.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like one of those 80/20 frames with a kind of custom kind of configuration a little bit. So you could totally make one of these profiles, but the challenge is when you have these like complex profiles is how do you get the weldment to the frame profile path to pick up on a certain spot, right? Because there's all of these spots that it could pick up on.
Yep.
Now you can actually, well, I'll just play the video. I'll just mute that. But you can see, you know, we have, you know, those little points that you could drop down, and those points are auto-generated by the Onshape system. When you set it as a profile, it just picks
Yep.
a centroid and the corners and all that. But, you know, here's an additional point that's defined as the main path point. And now in your tag, when you tag the profile, you can set which points are the additional points. So now when you're in your frame command, you know, you can pick the additional points as well as the Onshape auto-generated points.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's really, a nice frame.
I really enjoy using frames. In fact, I went back and redid my tiny house using frames functionality. So
fantastic.
Yep.
All right. This one I think is going to be well received as well, you know, because, you know, when you're creating complex geometry, you know, fillets and things are things you'll deal with every day, of course. You know, when you're with a tight area and you want to fit in the fillet that you're looking for, you know, sometimes it's hard to determine what's causing an error. So here we are. This our colleague here, Sufyan, is giving us a demonstration, and it's showing us. I'll just pause it here. Tell us it's giving us some nice information about this fillet. Of course, we have a 1/2-inch fillet on an area that can't receive one, and the fillet completely overlaps the edge loop. Well, what does that mean? Like that's kind of like, you know, some people are visual, some people are text based. You know, what's your, you know, some people are kinesthetic. You know, whatever. But you have like the you know, one way of reading that is the fillet overlaps the edge loop. Then that's good information. But I think I'm more of a visual person. So, you know, seeing it on screen, like seeing the why it's failing, it's showing us like, okay, well, that's see this radius profile here is 1/2 inch, right? And it's revolving it around. It's showing us, you know, why it can't do it. It's totally obvious why it can't fillet this right now.
So it's almost like it's telling us, I'm trying, I really am, but I'm sorry, I can't do this for you.
Yeah. So you can see here, it's showing us, you know, some more information here. Selecting that face, you know, is going to be problematic. It's telling us it's too large. That's a good information.
Yeah.
And there it is. So obviously, much easier to understand what the heck is going on, you know, when you're making these design changes, and it works in various scenarios here, as Sufyan is showing us.
Beautiful.
We're going to thank Sufyan for doing a great update as well. Lots of great examples that he was able to put together. And we're really appreciative of our Onshape Europe team. We have a lot of people in Europe that support Onshape technically. And just want to give Sufyan and that team a shout out. All right. What else do we have, Richard?
Well, we've got some general improvements. You know, I love these little things, these little improvements here and there. And here's a good example, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know,
some feedback for you while you're doing stuff. You know, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, obviously when you're sharing an Onshape, you share it, you hit the big blue share button, you share somebody into a document. You know, I always like it when somebody tells me why they're sharing it with me. You know, like, you know, I get in my inbox, I'm getting a notification. Oh, somebody shared an Onshape document with you. Oh, that's great. Let's go ahead and open it. But maybe I want to know what this is about. You know, the personal message is a nice thing to have. You know, it shows up in the email notification and the in-app notification, you know, when you receive an Onshape share. And yeah, it's just like when you share something in Google Docs or something. Even Office 365 does this, I think. So you can just, when you hit share button, have the note. Now, we've always had that, but some people didn't realize that there was a character limit in there. Now it's keeping track of it, like when you're typing in a tweet. You know, it'll let you know how many characters you've used.
Sometimes you have to be verbose.
Yes. Well put.
Here we go. Always my favorite drawing improvements.
Yes, yes.
It won't be long before, engineering drawings are no longer necessary, said someone to me in 1985.
Drawings are still important. We're not getting rid of them anytime soon,
No, we're
regardless of
not.
what I think or what anybody else thinks.
Hey,
Um, yeah,
don't get me wrong. 3D is great, and the ability for adding that kind of information to 3D models is great. But it still hasn't caught on 100%. People are still making engineering drawings, and as far as I'm concerned, I love that because, well, I think our listeners probably know I love to do drawings. So.
well,
And these are the kind of changes that I appreciate because for people that actually love to do engineering drawings, mechanical drawings, I think in a lot of cases we try to make them not only accurate, not only so that your part can be built, but there's an art form to it. Sometimes you want to make sure that your dimensions are all spaced out neatly, that extension lines don't cross each other wherever possible, and there's just something about producing a nice, clean, beautiful drawing that gets people excited. At least it gets me excited.
yeah. I still, see people in the office that are of my age, and they still use proper drafting lettering even when they're taking notes.
Yep,
in their
exactly.
notebooks.
I have not used cursive. I guess that's what they still call it. In other than my signature in probably 40 years.
Yeah.
I've at this point forgotten how the letters go together anyway. So I'll stick with my printing.
So in this case, this drafting improvement now in your options and your drawing properties, which means this can be set at a drawing template level, etc. You can lock the angle of all jog dimensions to 45 degrees by default, right?
Nice.
So anytime you jog a dimension out because you need to fit a width dimension in, like you see here, it's you don't want to have like all those lines cluttering up your drawing. All right. Bend leader lines. So let's see.
Yeah. Again,
Better grip points.
a very small change, but something that's important to people that again, want to create really nice looking drawings.
Yeah, yeah. So all these things we'd be able to do in a manual drawing when doing it on the board. Why not here, right? So,
exactly.
Enterprise improvement. So Onshape Enterprise, is the platform that companies will choose if they're very interested about analytics and understand what's going on across their extended organization, who's doing what and when, more control. So as part of this, with Enterprise having many, many deep layers of control in the administration setup, there's now a global permission if you are using Onshape Enterprise and you have the Arena PLM integration. So Onshape and Arena, of course, we're both PTC. The systems are totally connected now, as we've seen in previous shows here of the Innovators Insider. The administrator now has the ability to choose which users have the ability to sync their bill of materials and properties with Arena. And this is really important because you might not want every single person in your company to have that ability,
that kind of power.
Right. It's a big power because you're,
Yep.
you're pushing data back and forth between your PLM and your CAD and PDM with Onshape. So, this ability, can be now set, so certain individuals can have it and not others, which is nice. Another new item in the enterprise version is that new filters have been added to the document activity dashboard, meaning I can, look at it including start and end versions. So, I can look between a range of modeling time, and get a report on all of the activity on it. So I can see, okay, these are the projects. This is what's been going on between Rev A and Rev B, for example, at a more deep level, more verbose level, as you would say. So that's what this information is here. So the enterprise reports are amazing. In case you haven't seen them, you go into the analytics if you have enterprise. And here's a task board. Let's see what's going on. Do I have any tasks that I have to accomplish in my enterprise? And it's running that right now. I very well may have no open tasks, but it's checking. But there's other. Oh, there we are. Plenty of tasks. Okay, I had a lot of tasks.
You have a few.
I got a lot of work to do. 172 open tasks.
There goes.
That's across the whole company, though.
Yep, there goes that holiday vacation, Michael.
Debbie needs a raise. 66% of the task workload goes to Debbie. It's because I use Debbie as my demo account person that I work with all the time. But yeah, Debbie needs definitely a raise, and she has 2 overdue items here. These 2 ECRs are overdue. So like this is an example of the analytics that you get at a company level, at an enterprise level. So now we can search on more. You can slice and dice the information more is essentially the improvement here. PCB Studio. We released that recently, right? So the ability to import circuit board data into Onshape and then push circuit board information back to systems like Altium and pads and things like that. So new in this update, you can now directly edit the reference designator that comes in. So reference designator is a way of kind of capturing a little bit of information about the part, like a resistor might begin with an R, or and then you have 4 resistors, so it'd be R1, 2, 3, and 4, right?
Yep.
So it's like instancing, these items, right? So it's all still the same resistor. There's 4 of them, but they just each have their own unique ID.
Yep. Each
and that's what RefDes is.
Yeah. And I think our listeners know that I love printed circuit boards. That's one of the things that I learned how to do very early on in my career. In fact, it's so ingrained in me that when you talk about Bono and U2, my first thought is, hey, that's the reference designator for an integrated circuit. U2.
It's not the first thing I think of when I think of U2, Richard. So good on you for that. Oh, that's great. But there's always some other things that we don't make videos for as well, so you can always check out the change log as well, which has a complete list of every minor and major improvement as well. A lot of improvements are behind the scenes as well with Onshape, so I like to call that out. There's always things we're doing behind the scenes for performance, security, things like that we're not talking about here because it's hard to talk about, but
sure.
the back end of the system is always receiving updates and those kinds of things as well. So know that's happening behind the scenes.
Yep. And you can read the release notes to find out all that extra information.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pretty great update, huh?
It was. Let's see. Let's look through the comments here. I'm seeing Jonathan on the external threads, right? Using less features to model external threads will decrease regen time. Totally. Yeah. So you definitely don't want to model threads in unless you really have to, right? If you're molding them in or 3D printing or something like that. And there's great custom features that are in Onshape to drop those types of things out. Michael, on the pipe thread thing. Yeah. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah. It'd be great to add NBT there. Thanks again, Toby, for talking about surfacing improvements are always welcome, right?
Yep, absolutely.
I always think of that movie, Mel Brooks movie. Now I probably shouldn't bring it up in the air. Never mind.
Yeah, you got to be careful about which Mel Brooks movies to bring up on the air.
Yeah. It was Robin Hood Men in Tights, and
there we go.
Good news is always rewarded, but bad news is always punished. It's like so. I always like having the good news and bringing out surfacing enhancements there. Everybody wants that. Ashal, I think that's how you pronounce the name. Sorry if I butchered it. Tangent control in these features would be a relief. Yes, absolutely. And Eduardo, once again, another small improvement, allowing multiple users simultaneously view drawings and publications. We didn't add that, did we? I mean, that would be a nice improvement to have. I could check.
I think maybe that's what he's saying is that would be a nice improvement.
That would be nice. Yeah, it would totally be nice.
Sure
yes.
Would.
What else? Let's see.
Well, while you're searching there, I do want to mention to everybody to take a look at our Halloween episode. We dropped that last week, so you can take a look at Michael and I all dressed up for Halloween. There's also the news that LiveWorks in 2023 is going to have an Onshape track, and we'll have more information about that very, very soon.
Yes, I did
And
want to bring that up. Yes.
yep, we'd like to see hundreds, if not thousands, of Onshape users in Boston. I believe that's in March, late March, right?
It's in May, actually.
May.
So let me,
Well,
I'm going to share.
I knew it was an M month.
So you see the LiveWorks stuff here on the screen, right?
There we go.
So LiveWorks is the premier like PTC event. You know, think of this like if you've been to like other events, like think of Autodesk University, think of like what SolidWorks World used to be. You know, LiveWorks is on that level, but you know we have a very big event scheduled here from May 15th through 18th in 2023. Definitely, if you can make it, please join us. Come to Boston. Come to the Seaport. The Boston Convention and Exhibition Center is like right behind the Seaport headquarters of PTC, and we're taking over the whole area. We're gonna have great content, great keynotes, classes, all sorts of things. Showcase of products. So definitely register right now, to attend that event. If you would like to be a presenter, let's say you're an Onshape user and you've come up with a really cool workflow, something you think that can really improve other Onshapers' lives, you should share that with the world, right? It's a great way of kind of getting your name out there. Presenting on something that's near and dear to your heart. So, and when you're approved, where call for papers is going right now, it's going until almost the end of November. So you don't have too much time to come up with a paper. But if you are interested, please do. I know a few Onshape users have already done so. But please consider coming. And if you're really passionate about something, consider giving a talk on it, because you'll get some discounts on your sign up for signing up for the event.
I'm so looking forward to this. It's been 2 years, since we've all been able to really get together and shake hands and share stories and share tips and tricks and share a beer even. So yeah, come out to Boston. Let's all get together. Let's get to know each other face to face.
Absolutely. And long live King Richard.
Thank you, Sebastian. And Sebastian, I guess I'll see you tomorrow at the German-speaking user group meeting. And to the rest of our guests, thanks for joining us today. We had a great time. It was a great update. And Michael, you run a great screen share. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Well, we'll see everybody next time in about 3 weeks.
There you go. Take care.
All right. See you all later.